Okay, now we'll start.
Okay.
Here we go. Avinu Sheba
Inu
Shamayim,
Mashamayim.
Sur Yisrael V'Goalo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu, Hagen Aleha Be'evrat Chasdecha. Oh, sorry. Ufros Aleha Sukat Shalomecha Ushalach Oracha Va'amitecha Lirasheha Sareha V'yoatseha Vitaknem Be'etza Tova Milfanecha Chazek et Yedei Megine Eretz Kodshenu V'hanchilem Eloheinu Yeshua Va'ateret Nitzachon Te'aterem V'natata Shalom Ba'aretz V'simchat Olam Leyosheveha V'nomar Amen. Okay. All right, we're going to go to the Shema. And I can't talk and write at the same time, sorry. But I have to write this down or I'm going to forget. Um, okay. All right, we're going to go to the Shema. So find the Shema in your Siddur. There are many places you can find the Shema. I'm on page 155 in Lev Shalem, and in Sim Shalom, Terry, it'll be on page 346. 346. So we're going to sing it together, and we will whisper the second line. And we talked about all the stories about why we whisper it. And here we go. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha Bechol levavecha uvechol nafshecha uvechol me'otecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha veshinantam levanecha vedibarta bam בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Okay? You able to keep up with me? Good. Okay. So last week we went on a treasure hunt through the Siddur and we found the Amidah. We found it for the Shabbat Mariv service. We found it for the Shacharit service on Shabbat. We found it for the Musaf service for Shabbat. And I think we talked about finding it for the Mincha service, but I think we may have run out of time. So, but the one thing that we did notice was that the first three brachot are the same for all of the services. So we are going to go to those first brachot. We're going to use the Shachrit Amidah for Shabbat. So in Sim Shalom, Terry, this one's yours. 354, 354, and in Lev Shalom, I think it's on 159. I'll know when I turn the pages. Okay. We are going to sing the first two brachot, and then we're going to and then we'll read the third one. Okay. And we're going to do the part that's for just with the patriarchs. We're not going to do the part with the matriarchs. The part with the patriarchs. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor B'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Ha'Kol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot Umevi Goeli V'nei B'neihem Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagin Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham. That's the first bracha. We're going to now sing the second one. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechaye Metim Atah Rav Lehoshia Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed Mechaye Metim Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishene Afar Micha Mocha Baal Gevurot Umido Melach Melech Memit Umechaye Umatzmiach Yeshua Vene'eman Ata Lehachayot Metim Baruch Ata Adonai Mechaye Hametim. And now we're going to turn to the third bracha. So in Lev Shalem, you're going to skip past the Kedusha and go to page 162. The third bracha is at the top of that page. And in Sim Shalom, I'm in the wrong service. Sorry, I need to get to the morning service. We did Sim Shalom, 354. Okay. So in Sim Shalom, you're also going to skip past the Kedusha, and the third bracha will be at the top of page 358. Okay. All right. So we're going to read this. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah Baruch ata Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Okay. So each of those brachot ends with a bracha. And what we're going to do is take a look at the themes. So I'm going to share the screen, and we're going to look at the themes of each of these three brachot. Okay, whoops. Okay, here's our first bracha. So let's read it. Would one of you like to read the English? We're just going to read the part with the patriarchs.
I'll read it.
Okay, thanks.
Baruch atah Adonai, our God and God of our ancestors, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob, great, mighty, awe-inspiring, transcendent God, who acts with kindness and love and creates all, who remembers the loving deeds of our ancestors, and who will lovingly bring a redeemer to their children's children for the sake of divine honor.
Okay. And there's the end of it up here.
You are the sovereign who helps and saves and shields. Baruch atah Adonai, shield of Abraham.
Okay. So, and in the part that includes the matriarchs, you can see it also adds and guardian of Sarah. So what is the theme of the first bracha?
Can you go back to the other screen, the first screen?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Hmm.
Sisters. Well, I mean, basically what our ancestors have done and how we are here now for all
Okay,
that they've done for us.
right. I mean, that's how it starts. Baruch atah Adonai, our God and God of our ancestors. And then it names them. It names our ancestors. So those people that are named, let's take a look at the part for the patriarchs and the matriarchs. God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob, God of Sarah, God of Rebecca, God of Rachel, God of Leah. Okay, so it names those patriarchs and matriarchs of ours. And so this first bracha is all about our ancestors, how we got to where we are today. Okay, in Hebrew, when you at the end of this bracha, it says, I'm on the wrong page again. At the end of this bracha, it says, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham. Magen, does that remind you of something else?
Magen.
Mhm. Magen David.
Uh,
Magen David. Magen David is a shield of David. This one says Magen Avraham. How do you think they compare? A shield is a protection.
it's the protection. I was going to say they're both protecting.
They're protecting, yeah. We're gonna protect these ancestors. Um, okay, we're gonna go to the second bracha now. It's a little small. All right. You are ever mighty, Adonai. You give life to the dead. Great is your saving power. You sustain the living through kindness and love, and with great mercy give life to the dead. You support the falling, heal the sick, loosen the chains of the bound, and keep faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, Almighty, and who can be compared to you? The sovereign who brings death and life and causes redemption to flourish. You are faithful in bringing life to the dead. Baruch atah Adonai, who gives life to the dead. What is this one talking about?
That wouldn't have anything to do with the afterlife, would it?
No.
Okay.
It sure does look like it, doesn't it? I mean, how many times did they say give life to the dead? Give life to, brings life and death, brings death and life. And it even ends with who gives life to the dead. But this part of the Shema, the first part of the Shema, not the Shema, of the Amidah, is about our ancestors. Um, and it's called the Avot ve'imahot, if you add the women. So our fathers and our mothers. This part of the Amidah is called Givurot, which refers to God's strength and God's saving care. So I'm not sure what life to the dead gives life to the dead means, but it could have to do with the coming of the Messiah. I really need to look this up because the theme of this is really about God's saving power. Giver wrote, God's strength.
I mean, if you take away the death part, it could be just he pulls us up from the bottom. I mean, he gives us strength when we're at the lowest.
Right. You're right. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, the third bracha is the shortest one. I'm going to skip to it. It's a little bit blurred, but sorry. This this little paragraph, this third bracha, is only said when we are praying alone. So when your congregation is doing a repetition of the Amidah, so you read the whole thing from the very beginning to the end silently. When you skip the Kedusha when you're reading it silently, you skip that and go straight to this third bracha, which ends the same way as the Kedusha is going to end. And we're going to get to that in just a few minutes. So this is just the very end of that Kedusha. The Kedusha incorporates this. So this one's kind of easy to guess what the theme is, because the word kadosh in its various forms was read multiple times as we were reading this very, very short bracha. Holy are you and holy is your name. Holy ones praise you each day. Baruch atah Adonai, the holy God. And so what's the theme of the third bracha?
Holy.
Holiness, kadosh. Kadosh. We know that word kadosh because we've seen it over and over and over again.
Kadosh, kadosh, kadosh.
That you're gonna find, we find that earlier in the service, but yeah, that's part of the Kedusha. Yeah. And it's an important verse because if you go to a church service, you will hear that same verse read, which I think is really interesting. Okay. We we've gone through these three brachot. There's one other thing. Do you remember when we learned Thim Shalom earlier? So turn in your, just kind of keep your place here by the third bracha, but turn to the end of the
I have it.
to Sim Shalom. Only I wrote something here that doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, we're at the very end. We went over Sim Shalom once before, and you could see when we were reading Sim Shalom, there's the theme ran through it, just like this third bracha. Kadosh, 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 kadosh is constantly in this bracha, but the word shalom was throughout the Sim Shalom, and it then ends with Baruch atah Adonai hamavarech et amo Yisrael bashalom. So peace. Okay. In Lev Shalom, I'm going to stop sharing, especially on this page, because it is way too, okay, way too blurry. It's giving me a problem. Okay. So we've learned these three brachot in the Amidah, these first three. And we know that the last bracha of the Amidah, the first three and the last bracha, always the same when we're saying the Amidah. Okay. So in Lev Shalem, the book, it's worth your money sometimes to buy this one, because Lev Shalem gives us instructions about bowing. It tells us when to bow, but why do we bow? Well, according to Rambam in Hilchot Tefillah, chapter 5, verse 10, he says we bow 5 times in every Amidah. We bow in the first blessing at the beginning. So before we even begin to pray the Amidah, that's where we take the 3 steps back and the 3 steps forward, and we bow. Okay, and we bow also at the end of the first bracha. So we bow before we begin, and then we bow when we say, Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham. Okay. When else do we bow? We bow in the blessing of thanks, which is Modim Anachnu Lach. We bow at the beginning, at the end, at the end. No, sorry. We bow at the beginning of Modim Anachnu Lach. That's number, what? And we bow at the beginning and at the end of that. Okay. So Modim Anachnu Lach. We're going to turn the page so you can see where it is. Turn the pages past the Kedusha, and in Sim Shalom, it's on page 360. And in Lev Shalom, it's on 164. So we bow at the beginning of Modim Anachnu Lach. And then you have to follow it along till you find the bracha. So in Lev Shalom, you're going to see the bracha at the bottom. It's the last line on 164. And in Sim Shalom, the bracha, I have to see it. I can't see it. The bracha is on page 362. And we'll read this bracha together. Baruch, I hope I'm right. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. So that's the fourth time we bow. Okay. And then keep turning the page until you get to past Sim Shalom, until you get to the um, the personal prayer you say when you're finished reading. There are two listed in both of these books on page 166 in Lev Shalom and on page 364 in Sim Shalom. And it's when we do Oseh Shalom. I'm gonna make sure I'm in the right place. Okay. So you'll see at the end of the first paragraph, you'll see Oseh Shalom, which you probably have memorized because we sing it a lot. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. And so this is one of those times, just like at the beginning, when you took the 3 steps back and the 3 steps forward, you do the same thing at the end. And this is one of those times when you're going to bow to one side, to the other side, and then forward. Okay, so those are the 5 times that we bow. So how do we do it? For the first bow at the word Baruch, you bow at the word Baruch and then stand straight up when you say God's name. And the first 4 we do that way, okay? The last time at the end of the Mivda, that's when you take the 3 steps backwards while bowing, and then toward the left, toward the right, and then stand straight. Okay? Any other?
This is a lot. I mean, this is a lot. When you're trying to learn this, there are all these traditions and specifications and just it's a lot.
It is a lot. And that's why Lev Shalom is such a good book to use because it tells you when to do everything.
Right, but I don't go to services with Lev Shalom. I use the Reform Siddur that they have, and I'm like, where are they?
Well, so you're gonna have to live stream, follow a congregation
Right,
live streaming that's using Lev Shalom.
right,
So you're on the same page with them.
right.
You'll watch what they're doing. It's just a little complicated, but
It
that's,
is.
you know what I will do? I'm making a note to myself and I'm going to put this into the update, the stuff about the bowing, okay? It's really confusing.
Well, the last thing I'm worried about is the bowing. The last thing I'm worried about.
Yeah. Worry about reading the Hebrew. It's just something interesting, but you're right. There are so many different customs. So what are some of those customs that you see when you're in a sanctuary or you're live streaming or you're Zoom, however you're seeing a service? What are some of the customs that you see?
I mean, some of the things that I see and hear are, some people sit down sooner than others, right? And some people are really humming and praying and, I'm davening. I mean, they're bowing and real. I mean, everybody has a different level of what they're doing.
Okay,
And
you're
it's all
right.
accepted, which is wonderful.
Yeah, it is. My husband stands next to me now. You have to understand, until we moved here, he never sat next to me because he was up on the bima. So I didn't hear him but he says every word aloud. Now, it's not loud, but so that he hears his own voice. And that's how he does it. Now, he goes so fast that I could never follow him because he's just, and they learn this, I think, when they're in the seminary. I think they practice so that they can go really, really fast. Because my son and daughter-in-law can do it too. So, but he says the words out loud. And so there are other people I know in the sanctuary who are doing that too. I've also seen in many of the synagogues I've been in, there are some people that take their talit and put it over their head so that while they're saying the Amidah, they're cutting themselves off, they can concentrate better. It's kind of like, covering your eyes when you say the Shema so that you can concentrate. I've seen that. We're getting close to going into the Kedusha right now. And we're going to see some customs that are specifically for the Kedusha. That is actually a time that you're not supposed to walk into the sanctuary or leave your seat, or you're not supposed to ask anybody else to move because you're supposed to be standing in one place during the Kedusha. And some synagogues I've noticed will stop people at the door. They won't let them in during the Kedusha, and some synagogues do let people in. It's custom. It's a custom. It's not a law. And we are much more concerned about maintaining our customs than we are our laws. Okay, we're going to go back to the first bracha now. The one that talks about our patriarchs. And I want you to take a look. We're going to be looking, this is a little bit of grammar. We're going to be looking for the word and. And we're going to see how many times we see the word and. So that's going to be either a vav or the vowel sound u, which is also a vav. That's the prefix that means and. So we're back on page 159 and 160 in Lev Shalem, and in Sim Shalom, we're on page 354 again. So go through the first bracha, just the first bracha, and see how many words you can find that begin with the prefix and, ve or u. And we're looking at, we're looking at the patriarchs. We're not going to look at the paragraph with all the matriarchs.
There's one in the second line.
There is one in the second line. Can you read it?
Va lo Valohe?
Velohe. See
Velohe.
the vowel under
Velohe.
the vav and the vowel under the hey are the same vowel.
Velohe.
Velohe, very good. And if you keep going, you'll say Elohe Abraham, Elohe Yitzchak, and then we have that same word again. Let's read it.
Velohe.
Velohe Yaakov. Okay, and we'll keep reading in that same sentence. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor. Ve Hanora. Let's read that word together. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Ve Hanora.
Vehanora.
Great. El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim. And then we have, let's read it together. Vekone.
Wait a second. Where are you? Oh, got it.
Vekone.
Right? Vikone.
Vekone, good. Hakol. And then we have another one.
Vitzocher.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Vezocher. Chasdei Avot. And now we have another one. Umevi.
Umevi.
Goel livnei v'nehem lama'an shemo be'ahava. I have to turn the page. Melech Ozer, and we're going to have two in a row. Umoshia, Umagain. Let's read them together. Umoshia,
Yeah. Umosha,
Moshia,
Umoshia,
right. Umagain,
Umagain.
right. Okay, that's the end of the first bracha. And we're going to look at the second bracha now, because the second bracha also contains the word and. All right, so there were 8 in the first bracha. Let's see how many there are in the second. We'll read through it and until we come to those. Ata gibor leolam Adonai, mechaye metim ata rav lehoshia, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechaye metim berachamim rabim, somech noflim, and here we go. Verofe, you see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Deroge,
Verofe, cholim, umatir, asurim. Umatir.
Umatir.
See it? Okay. Asurim, umatir, asurim. And here we have another one. Umekayem.
Umikayem.
Emunato, lishene afar. Micha mocha ba'al gevurot. U mi. Do melach. Melech may meet. And we're going to have 2 in a row. U mechayeh.
Mechaye.
Umatzmiach, Umatzmiach,
Umatzmiach.
Yeshua, and one last one, Ve'ne'eman,
Ve'enema.
Ve'ne'eman.
Ve'ne'eman.
Right, Atah lechachayot metim. Okay. Now, in the second bracha, the word me shows up. Me means who? How many times do you see it? We're looking for the word me in the second bracha.
The second line, it's me.
The word me. It's mem yud. We're going to see it not necessarily alone. It might have a prefix. We're going to see it more than once in the second bracha. And the sentence that begins with me sounds like another prayer that we sing, but we haven't studied it yet, but I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Mifanecha.
Mi kamocha.
Oh, mi kamocha.
Mi kamocha. Okay, so now to see if you can find something that looks like mi kamocha.
Mi kamocha. So there it is towards the bottom, the second to last line.
Mi kamocha ba'al gevurot, and then you'll see it again.
Me.
So there's 2 times that the word me shows up in the second bracha. Okay. Now, there are 3 words in this bracha. Mechaye, umechaye, and lechayot. And they're all related to a word in the second sentence of this bracha, So we're in the second bracha, the second sentence.
I see it.
What do you see?
Mechaye.
Uh-huh. And what do you see before you get to Mechaye? The second word in the second sentence.
Second one.
Second word in the second sentence.
May team.
No. Second word in the second sentence of this
Oh,
in
okay.
bracha. Second bracha, second sentence, second word.
Baruch atah Adonai. And then I'm going down the second one.
Look up,
Mechaye. Mechaye. May team.
go up a line from where you are.
Ata.
No, go up a line from where you are. Mechaye Meitim Barachamim.
Sorry.
All right, you were at the bracha, weren't you?
Yeah.
We're up. We're over the second sentence of this bracha.
Baruch
It
atah
begins.
Adonai.
No. Second sentence of the second bracha. So the first bracha ended with Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham. The second bracha begins with Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai. So in Lev Shalom, you should be on page 160. Okay. And then this Mechaye, we've got Mechaye there. Meitim Atah Rav LeHoshia. And now the second sentence, Mechalkel Chaim.
Got it.
Chaim. You see Chaim? What does that mean, Chaim?
Chaim.
It's plural for Chai, if that helps.
Ah,
Chaim.
life.
Life. Eitz Chaim, a tree of life. Eitz Chaim, that, remember? Okay, so we have this word Chaim. Now, if you take a look at Michaye, which was above, you had read that one, Michaye, and you'll see the word Chai right in the middle. Chai. Michaye. Okay? And Umechaye has the word and added to it, which also has Chai in the middle of it. And Lichayot.
Lichayot. Got it.
Lehachayot, I think it says. And you can see the Chai in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that our second bracha has more to do with life than with death. Okay. All right. Those are the first two brachot. Any questions? We're going to keep going. We're going to go a little more because we're going to go to the Kedusha. So in Lev Shalom, we're on page 161. And in Sim Shalom, we are on page 356. Now, we learned that third bracha was very, very short. But during the Shabbat morning service, we chant the Kedusha, which incorporates the third bracha. So if you're at a service where they are doing what they call a Hachet Kedusha, you are going to sing the first three brachot aloud, and you're going to finish the Amidah alone. Okay, so you won't say that short third bracha. You're going to read the Kedusha, which is going to incorporate that bracha. So if you look at the bottom of the page, at the very last line on the page. Now in Lev Shalom, it's telling you what we do on Shabbat Shuvah. So go above that. And you'll see that the bracha we're reading at the end of the Kedusha, Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. If you turn the page, you'll notice that when we do that third bracha, it is Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Okay, so that bracha is incorporated in here. All right, let's read it together. We're gonna read this together. We'll go slowly. So, Julie, go ahead and mute, and we'll read it. We'll read this together. And you notice the very first word, Nikadesh. You see the word kadosh in there? Kuf Daled Shin. We're going to start out with how holy your name is, God. So the first word we're going to say in this third, in the Kedusha, is Kadosh. And the last word we're going to say in the Kedusha is Kadosh. Here we go. Nikadesh et Shimcha. Nikadesh, sorry, my phone decided to ring and it rings into my hearing aid, so I can't stop it even when it's muted. Nikadesh et Shimcha ba'olam keshem shemakdishim oto bishmei marom kakatuv al yad neviecha vekara ze el ze ve'amar. All right, we've now said the word kadosh twice, the very first word, and then shemak di shim. See the word kadosh written in the middle of that word. And we haven't even gotten to kadosh, kadosh, kadosh. So twice we've said it already. Here we go. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melo Chol Haaretz Kevodo. Az Bekol Ra'ash Gadol Adir Vechazak Mash Mi Im Kol Mit Nasim Leumat Seraphim Leumatam Baruch Yomeru. Baruch Kavod Adonai Mimakomo. Mimakomacha Malkenu Tofia Vetimaloch Alenu Ki Mechakim Anachnu Lach. Matai Timloch Betzion. Bikarov Biyamenu Leolam Vaed Tishkon. Tit Gadal Vetit Kadash Betoch Yerushalayim Ircha Ledor Vador Ulenetzach Nitzachim Ve'enenu Tir'ena Malchutecha Kadavar Ha'amur Beshirei Uzecha Al Yedei David Mashiach Tzidkecha Yimloch Adonai Leolam Elohayich Tzion Ledor vador, hallelujah. Ledor vador, nagid, god lecha. Ulenetzach nitzachim, kedushatecha, nakdish. Veshivchacha Eloheinu, mi pinu lo yamush leolam va'ed. Ki el melech gadol vekadosh ata. Baruch ata Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Okay. Any questions so far about the Kedusha? Could you hear all the times that the word Kadosh came in there? Yeah. I guess that's the reason it's called the Kedusha, huh? All right. There are two main parts to this Kedusha. And there's a bridge that connects them. So we're going to try to find two words that look like they have the same shoresh, the same root. The last word of the first part of the Kedusha is connected to the first word of the second part of the Kedusha. So you can go ahead and you can look at at the translation, and if you look at the translation, you're going to see two words that are the same, but they're not in the same place in English as they are in the Hebrew. Now, let me give you a hint. On Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, Women's League has a program that runs on Zoom. And it's called Makom B'Yachad. Okay? A place together. We're looking for that word Makom. Makom. So this word is going to have mem, kuf, and mem in it. And actually both of the words have the vowel O. So you can actually see makom, even though the vowels aren't quite right to pronounce it that way.
I see it under Baruch Kivod Adonai Mi Mikom, and then Mimikomo.
Okay, that's right. That's the first one, mimakomo, which is the last word of the first portion of this Kedusha. And then the first word of the second portion is mimakomecha.
Right.
They just have different different suffixes. This is praised as Adonai's glory wherever God dwells, the place that God dwells, the place, God's place. And it's in the second part too. You can see our sovereign, manifest yourself wherever you dwell. Mimkomcha. Okay, so we're going to leave it at that. And next week, we are actually going to look at these two parts of the Kedusha. Okay, so we're going to go now to Hatikva. And let me share the screen. O balevav panima, nefesh Yehudi homiya, ulefa'ate mizrach kadima, ayin letzion tovia. O lo avda tikvatenu, ha-tikva bat shnot alpayim, lihiyotam chofshi be'artzenu, eretz Tzion v'Yerushalayim. Lihiyotam chofshi be'artzenu, eretz Tzion v'Yerushalayim.
Barbara, thank you for your patience and just really going so thoroughly through this for us today.
You. That's no problem at all. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be patient. I have
You
much
are.
more patience with everybody else than I do with my own self. So, but this is fun. I've enjoyed teaching this. This is the second year I've taught this class, and I'm enjoying it. Everybody who takes the class is so friendly and supportive.
Well, we want to be here.
That's right.
That's right.
It's much different than teaching kids.
Right.
This is much better than Hebrew school.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're quite welcome. All right. So have a good Shabbat, and I will see you again next week.
Bye. Bye, Terry.
Barbara.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.